Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book Ecclesiastes. I finished chapter 1 and just started from previous video. This is about the words of the teacher, the son of David, who is, it's Solomon. So I'm going to move on to chapter 2. Okay, I'm going to read it first. Pleasure are meaningless. I thought in my heart, chapter 2, I thought in my heart, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. But that also proved to be meaningless. Laughter, I said, is foolish, and what does pleasure accomplish? I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly, my mind still guiding me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was worthwhile for man to do under heaven during the few days of their lives. I undertook greater projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed the silver and gold for myself and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired men and women, singers, and a harem as well, and delights of heart of man. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my works, and this was reward for all my labor. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands has done, and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Wisdom and folly are meaningless. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise man has eyes in his head, while the fool walks in darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate ought-take them both. Then I thought in my heart, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said in my heart, this too is meaningless, for the wise man like the fool will not be long remembered. In days to come, both will be forgotten. Like the fool, the wise man too must die. So this is about the first part of chapter 2, and there's another part of chapter 2. Said toils is meaningless. So these are the thought of meaningless. Previously talked about chapter 1 beginning with everything is meaningless, and then talk about the wisdom is meaningless. And now said this chapter 2 start with the title pleasure are meaningless. So this is saying that give a summary of Solomon himself. Said he find nothing. Pleasure is also meaningless because he had all the man could desire: the manservant, woman servant, the flocks, the yard, the palace. He had everything, and but he said he's in all this my wisdom stayed with me. So he had this worldly possessions, but at the same time, the wisdom is not going to leave him. So so he thought, I laughed. Laughter, I said, is foolish. And what does pleasure accomplish? So happiness cannot do anything good to him, actually laughter or pleasure. And cheer myself with wines, embrace with folly. My mind still guides me with them. So the wisdom is still there to surpass or sublime the worldly possessions, either the laughter and also the wines. And now he started a project, built the house and plant the vineyard, garden the parks, and reservoir waters, and also brought male, female slaves, and also the flocks and herds. So no one in Jerusalem is larger or bigger than him. And then he said, I became, in all this, my wisdom stayed with me. So this is saying that even though the worldly possessions cannot, I still have the wisdom. It's from above. I think they're calling different voices from what he owned in his hand. That I deny myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart to pleasure. My heart took delight in all my work, and this was the reward of all my labor. Yet when I surveyed all that my hand has done, and what I had toiled to achieve, everything has meaningless, or chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. So this, I think, is really critical, very important. So he denied himself from the eyes desired, but just the heart working. So what it means is forget about those outcomes, whether I will own a large vineyard or large herds of flocks, but I just put my hands in work. Yet when I surveyed all that my hand has done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chase after wind, and nothing was gained up. So he thought, probably I'll just work hard, diligently, or use my hand to build up the empire. But still, eventually, he said everything, his torment, his hard working, rewarded, it's all meaningless. I think it's like chasing the wind. And the wisdom and the folly are meaningless. And this saying, the wisdom and the folly, either you're smart, wise, or if not wise, they're all meaningless, means equal. So then I turn my thoughts to consider wisdom and also madness and folly. So then I think about thought about the wisdom and the folly. What more can a king's successor do than what has already been done? It means nothing new, really no excitement. I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise man has eyes in his head, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. So regardless, you're wise, you're successful walking under the light, or those folly walking in the darkness, the end is the same. Then I thought in my heart, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? So he asked himself, why I need wisdom? I said in my heart, this too is meaningless, for the wise man like the fool will not be long remembered. The days to come, both will be forgotten. Like the fool, the wise man too must die. So this saying, the outcome is just like the wave upon the seas, wash off the sand. Nobody's going to be remembered. Either you're wise or you're a fool. You all will be washed off with the time. So everything's meaningless. So this is what chapter 2, first part of chapter 2 and along chapter 1, saying meaningless. I couldn't really catch what the real meaning behind this meaningless. So I hope you can read and interpret in your own way. I'm going to stop here for today and continue next time in the video. Toil is meaningless for the next paragraph in chapter 2. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.